How is everybody doing? I am actually excited, ecstatic, and everything because actually I have somebody here that I have been following for a while. I put on the post that I was going to interview Anthony Morrison. I don't know how much of an introduction I need to give, but just for if anybody does not know who he is, I will give an introduction. But let me first talk about my wife, what she put on the post. She was like, about time. She was like, she said, I'm so happy for this interview. She said, it's about time because Anthony Morrison has been a household name in our household for the past 2 years. So this is, pretty much this is, I'm excited. I know he's excited, but just a little bit of background about him. I mean, I've been following him for about, probably about 2.5 years now. And I was pretty much introduced to him through Tai Lopez. He was actually, I guess, actually, well, kind of it filtered down. Actually, that was somewhat of a funnel that Ty had. So I started with Tai Lopez and social, actually not really social media marketing, but just things online, kind of, changing the mindset because Tai Lopez talks a lot about that. And then I guess Anthony's brother was actually on Ty's podcast and actually Adrian Morrison. So I actually ended up, that was actually the first online product that I bought, that I purchased online was actually ESA, e-commerce society. And that's how I got started on my online career. But then Adrian had Anthony on his show. So, on his podcast and webinar and all that stuff. So I actually ended up following, Anthony because of that, because I loved his the way he presented everything, and I love the fact of how he actually told, pretty much how to use affiliate marketing and everything like that. But just in case you do not know him, he is an 8-figure Karma Award winner with Clickfunnels, or purchaser, or pretty much just everything like that. He knows what he's doing with funnels. That's actually how I got into ClickFunnels, was because of him. I still think that he's actually getting affiliate payments off of me for like 2 years now. So yeah, and he is also a friend of Tai Lopez, which I just said. He actually turned Tai Lopez down. That's kind of how we got this interview, because I actually met him at a Tai Lopez mastermind. He turned Tai down for, I think he said, I don't know, maybe 2 years or so. But anybody that has the balls to tell Tai Lopez no, that he is somebody special. So he has.
Look, I love Tai, but doing his mastermind, we're in Mississippi, he's in California, so they had asked us for a couple years, and it didn't work out. But I met you in Miami at his event, or we were in Miami at his event, and was happy to do it. He's a good guy, and it was a great event.
But yeah, we can just go ahead and open up because your story is so compelling. I mean, how did you just get into online marketing?
Yeah, look, I did this. I started this quite a while ago. I mean, it was kind of like people are seeing Instagram influencers right now. That's all the new buzz, right? It's the influencers and what Instagram name can I buy and all that. I mean, that was kind of the way all internet marketing was not too terribly long ago, right? I mean, that was, for me, it was maybe, I guess, 10 years. And I just knew that internet marketing I knew that the internet was a gateway to people. And I knew that that's how businesses operate. They have a product, they want to get it to people, and they need that gateway to get it there, whether it's a brick and mortar store, the little kiosk that used to be in the malls, or the internet. And the internet was so great because it wasn't just a me to my local area type thing. It was a me to anybody in the world. And so that's what really drew me to it. And, as you said, most people probably by now have watched some way, shape, or form, either read one of my books or watched an interview I've done, and know that my dad lost his life savings in the stock market. And so when I wanted to build a business, there were a couple of things that I wanted, and they were almost necessities to me. I wanted to be able to make a lot of money, right? Because I was trying to take care of a whole family of 5 people. So I needed that option to be there, but I also needed time. I needed to be able to do it on my own time and not on somebody else's time or on somebody else's clock, because I was still in school. And I think that's what really drew me to the internet, was the ability to make as much money as I wanted and do it when I wanted, instead of doing it when somebody else told me I had to. And I think that's probably the number one reason why I chose to look at the internet and say, hey, let's build a business there.
That's a good point. I was actually I heard his story And he was giving it actually at at the mastermind at Tai's, and it was like, yeah, just to, you always hear it online, you read it in books and everything, but just when it came, straight from his mouth, because pretty much I've had access to him online, and then all of a sudden just to see him at a mastermind and everything like that, it was pretty engaging. And it looks like we had some people join us. If you guys have any questions for Anthony, just go ahead and type them in the box, and we'll see if we can get them answered. So yeah, obviously Anthony's bringing a lot of engagement. This is like one of my biggest lives. So we thank you for that. Thank you for joining us. And I have a few questions for you. I know that, as far as, everybody knows that you're successful, and, you're doing a lot of things. You have a lot of products. And I mean, people look at you and they're like, man, I want to be like him. Everybody's striving to be like him. I mean, you're teaching at Tai Lopez Mastermind. You're on stage with Russell Brunson. I'm pretty sure you can just text Russell Brunson whenever you want to. But I mean, when you get to, pretty much a successful status like that, I mean, what continuously drives you? I mean, what gets you up, and how do you stay motivated?
I think, I think all of those things, all those things are great. But for me, it's never been, like I didn't even know who Tai was until he had like, I don't know, 7 million followers or some nonsense, and I've known Russell since before Clickfunnels was even an idea. So, I mean, for me, I think the biggest thing that drives me is the fact that I love what I do. So it's not really money. You get to a point in life where money isn't what you wake up, it's bad, it might sound bad to say this, but money is not what you wake up needing most out of the day. You see that with a lot of people that let's just take like normal lifestyle. You're 65 years old, you retire. Why do you retire? It's not that you couldn't keep working. It's that all of a sudden money isn't what really motivates you. You didn't really love your job. Maybe you found the love for being a bank teller, or you found the happiness in working in a warehouse, or whatever the case may be. But that wasn't really what you enjoyed in your off time, right? Like, let me explain. There are a lot of people that I know that have regular 9-to-5 jobs, and they'll say, man, I love my job. Man, I just love my job. I love doing X, Y, or Z. And then at 7 o'clock at night, I'll call them up and be like, yo, what are you doing? Oh, I'm golfing. Or I'm maybe not at 7 at night. Maybe I'm watching a movie. Or I'll call them on Saturday. Hey man, what are you doing? I'm golfing, or I'm playing tennis, or I'm bike riding, or I'm riding my motorcycle, or I'm all these things. People have hobbies, right? And that's what their true passion is. That's what they truly love. And if they could wake up every morning and they could play golf, they would be happier individuals. They'd be happier people. So what drives them to go to work every day is the ability that the security and the money that job gives them allows them to live the lifestyle that they want to live. And the lifestyle they want to live is playing golf and riding around, doing all these things, right? All these hobbies. For me, like, my work really is my hobby. So like at 7 o'clock tonight, I'll be working. And at 3 o'clock on Sunday, I'll be working. And at 2 o'clock on Saturday, I'll be working. So what drives me is that I actually really love what I do. I don't do it for the money. I do it for the lifestyle. This is what I enjoy doing. I love building. I love creating. I love the challenge of it. As we've talked about, I know you're in my Partner with Anthony program. I mean, I've spent countless bazillions hours on that program, trying to take everything I've learned from teaching and funnel it to people in a way that's effective and actually works. And so when I see people getting results, and when I see people making money, and when I see people doing well, like on Sunday, what I want to be doing is filming more videos to teach more, to push more, to educate more. And that's really what drives me. So I think that when you do something you really love doing, you don't really need a motivational factor, because you're already doing what you love to do. And I keep telling people that. And I think that some people think that, especially internet marketers, we do this stuff just for money. And certainly there was a time where I did that. But there's a time where you get to the point, like I said, like what we kind of all see as the typical, which is we're 65, it's time to retire and live life. I could have done that at 28 and been just fine. but I'm still working, 8 years later, and I'll continue to work. And it's because I love what I do. And I think that's what really motivates me, that and trying to perfect my craft. I'm good at speaking. I'm good at, writing books. I'm good at internet marketing. But what I really want to be great at is taking the information I have, the knowledge I have, and relaying it to people in a way that actually gets them results, not just, call it putting them on a hamster wheel and keeping them excited, but really getting people results. And that's something that, motivates me every day.
That's good. That's good. And just to vouch for Anthony, I know that you really have to do what you love, because just a few years ago, maybe it was even last year, where his father was actually, he kind of, passed away and everything like that. But I mean, the thing is, it was kind of a slow process. But Anthony actually continued. I mean, this is the fact of how much he's really dedicated to his students. I mean, he has a show or a webinar on every Thursday night, and he's been doing that for how long now? How many years?
We're April is either the 4th or the 5th year of it.
All right.
April 21st.
Yeah. So for 4 years, he really hasn't missed a Thursday night. I think it's at 9 o'clock Eastern time. Mm-hmm. So he has not missed, pretty much, any of those. I mean, I think there was a couple of times where he missed it, where he actually, I think it was other family members that were having issues and everything like that. But I mean, the dedication that he has, I mean, consistency and just being dedicated. I mean, you can see why he's successful. Just the fact of, as I was going to say, about the story and stuff, he was pretty much every Thursday you could count on him to be there. Even the fact that his dad was, pretty much just passing away. I mean, he would actually post stories and everything like that, on Instagram, and just saying, even his brother, was posting stories. So, I mean, obviously it was a hard time, but just the fact that he was still there, willing to, he wants his students to succeed and excel. He wants you guys to make money online. And I know there's a lot of scam artists and everything out there. And and then Gail actually said that you come on holidays as well. Yeah, you don't miss any holidays. So I mean, Thanksgiving.
I pick Thursday, man. I pick Thursday. It's Thanksgiving. It's always Christmas Eve. It's always New Year's Eve. It's always Thursday night football. It's always the election debates. Everything is on a Thursday night, And when I picked Thursday nights, I wasn't thinking about that. And so I just, you talk about it being dedicated, and that's really the biggest piece of advice that I give people that want to build a business, they want to make money, they want to do their own thing, they want to be successful, is you literally have to just dedicate and commit to what you want to do. And there were plenty of times where I was showing up to my Success Connection webinar and there were 85 people on there. And, to most people, that might be a whole lot of people, but that's not a whole lot of people. I just most of the time don't even do a webinar if there's 85 people on it. I just get off. I mean, there's just not enough people. You have to have enough people to create energy. And now there's 1,000 people on every single week. It maxes out every week. But it's because of consistency. It's because when you demonstrate your commitment to what you're doing, you create consistency in yourself, but you also create consistency in your followers. So if everybody knows on Thursday night I'm going to be there and they don't have to question it, then I eliminate the need for an email to get delivered or a text message to get delivered and all these things to get people on my webinars. I've eliminated that real need. Now I still send them, but I don't even need them because 1,000 people are going to know that I'm going to be there. If you start creating doubt with people like, oh man, this week I wasn't feeling good, my throat hurts, so we're going to skip, or oh gosh, this happened in my life, so we're not going to be there. You are not creating that consistency and that habit with people. And that's what it really takes to build a following is people will commit to following you and it becomes a habit. I mean, it really does. And I'll tell you, it's funny. I was just telling my wife this the other day. We don't have a whole lot to do in Mississippi. So at night, pretty much every night we sit in the living room, we watch TV, and I'll work on of course I'm working on my laptop most of the time answering support tickets, which is crazy, I know, but it is true. And we're watching TV. And so some of my favorite shows, SEAL Team, I could go down a list of them, but we'll just take SEAL Team. The inconsistency with which television comes on creates a big gap in the market. So for instance, SEAL Team will come on every Wednesday night. Okay, I think it's actually Thursday. So it's every Thursday night, right? Every Thursday night. So I turn my TV on. I don't have to get reminded. Nobody has to tell me. SEAL Team's going to be on Thursday night. But when I hit Thursday night and SEAL Team's not there, I'm like, yo, what the heck? Like, what's going on? Why is SEAL Team not? I start Googling it, and their schedule is all erratic. They take like 3 weeks off, and then they'll pop up for 2 weeks, and then there's 6 months off. We went through a list. I can't tell you how many shows I was so into, loved them, and quit watching them altogether because they stop for the summer or they stop for the winter, you know, the different seasons when they change, you know, when they change seasons. That inconsistency, unless you just absolutely love it and you get sucked back in by the marketing 6 months later, you forget about it and you're on to something else. If something is on every single day, like your local news, right? CNN or Fox News or whatever news you watch, you find yourself going back to that all the time because you can count on it and you know it's there. So when you're trying to create a following, if you create that consistent, habitual opportunity for somebody to find you and know you're there, you're going to create a bigger following a lot faster. And that's the reason why I did the Success Connection the way I've done. And now we just, you know, we don't miss, and it works out really well.
Yeah, consistency is king. And I know you know actually one of the members that's on here now, and it's Abby Hujo. And,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So actually she says it's Wednesday, and she says it's a good show. So
yeah, I couldn't even remember Abby, and it's because they cut it off and then they brought it back and then they showed me one episode and then they went away again, and I'm just mad at SEAL Team now. So, you know, it makes me angry. But, you know, that's the thing is it's a consistency is I think one of the biggest thing that I've taken from the last, let's say, 5 years of my business is being consistent in what I do. And that's created a lot more success. Our business has grown a lot just from consistency.
All right. And yeah, my wife says you're very consistent. She says you rock, man. And Albert is asking like a ton of questions. It says, Anthony, in your opinion, as far as traffic, Facebook, Instagram, it says, when and where do you think the next gold rush of traffic will be? What is your opinion on TikTok?
I don't even know what TikTok is. I mean, look, I'm late to the game when it comes to all this stuff. Well, I'll tell you this. Instagram can provide a lot of traffic. I've been testing a lot of it, and it does not seem to be as high quality traffic by any means, but there's a lot of it. There's a ton of it, right? Especially with these influencers, which I think makes a big difference. So I think Instagram is a place to check out. I'll tell you where the gold mine is. The gold mine is on YouTube. Wow. Mine. I resisted YouTube for a long time because I don't understand Google marketing. I've just never done it. Well, I haven't done it since I first started my first business online. But we started up YouTube ads for our ambassador program 2 weeks ago. And we're running like a 4-to-1 ratio. So we spend $100. We spend $1,000. We make back $4,000. When you compare that to my Facebook ads, which are roughly a break even to a -10 +10 all the time. So if I spend $100,000 on Facebook ads, I'm going to make somewhere between $90,000 and $110,000 back. I'm really doing it to get leads and to create monetization throughout the rest of the funnel. With YouTube, some of the highest conversion rates they are the highest conversion rates I've ever seen from cold traffic. So I would say if I'm looking at it, I'm looking at YouTube because, you know, and I knew this all along, I just didn't really want to deal with it. And I had so many other things going on. I could afford to not deal with it. But YouTube is like television. It's like the old television. That's where the eyeballs are. And so just like people would spend $1 billion on commercial ads there, and direct response ads and infomercials, me especially, we used to spend $500,000 a week on television. And I mean, now all those eyeballs are sitting on YouTube. And here's the great thing about YouTube, and this is something that a lot of people don't know. When you run in-stream ads, meaning the ads that you see when you're clicking on your favorite video to watch it and it shows an ad and you can skip it after 10 seconds or whatever, someone has to watch 30 seconds of your ad before you get billed for it.
Wow.
So on television, they sell 30-second spots. Like it's a 30-second commercial spot. You pay for the whole 30 seconds. On YouTube, you don't pay for it at all until they hit 31 seconds. The methodology behind creating a working ad on YouTube is different because your whole idea is to get someone to take an action before the 30 seconds is up, right? Because if they sit on the ad, then obviously you pay. But yeah, the return on investment and the opportunity on YouTube is insane. And I would say get as much information on YouTube advertising as you can and just play with it, test it, test just some of the basics and see what you can do with it, because that's where I think the next phase for us. Well, I know that's the next phase for us. But I think it's one of the most profitable things that we'll probably ever do.
And just so you guys know, partner with Anthony. I'll put actually my link in the comment box. But actually, you can. Actually, Anthony teaches a little bit, as far as traffic and everything like that in the actual program itself, which is only a minimum amount to pay every month. I mean, it's less than $10, and you can pretty much just get pretty much anything you want. He teaches you how to build funnels, teaches you how to pretty much, ClickFunnels. He teaches you how to hook everything up. I mean, it's a step-by-step, process by process. It is absolutely the basic. And Abby says YouTube is awesome just from ranking videos too. So yeah, and actually even in the program itself, Anthony has, I guess, I hadn't really seen this done before, where actually if he pretty much wants you to succeed. So he's getting, pretty much getting you out of your comfort zone. And once you get out of your comfort zone, which pretty much that's how I got started with my interviews and everything like that, is just out of my comfort zone. I'm naturally an introvert, but because, I've actually opened up and I'm stepping out of my comfort zone, which a good book to read, I told you guys, is all on my feed, is Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins. And he was just a Navy SEAL, but his story and all that stuff, where it just pretty much talks about how he was constantly out of his comfort zone. And because he did that, because he went through pain and everything like that, it actually opened up doors that probably never would have been open before. So Anthony has a way set up in the Partner with Anthony where you can actually get views and clicks and links on your YouTube videos, which obviously YouTube promotes. Well, anybody promotes, if you get engagement on anything, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, whatever, if you're getting engagement, then they're going to promote it organically. So Anthony has a particular way that, where people can actually comment and everything on your videos. And you get you likes and engagement. So check out Partner with Anthony. And I know there is a few more questions, but I actually want to ask you, I guess this is going to kind of be like, I guess, a play on a word, like which one would you choose? So it's going to be a choice between two different things, which we kind of already went over this. Albert kind of stole my thunder, kind of looking at my notes and stuff. We tend to think alike anyway. Actually, he was at the Tai Lopez mastermind too as well. I don't know if you remember him or not, but yeah, he's shyer than I am. So I think he was kind of scared to walk up to you and talk and stuff like that. So but he's asking questions now. And Albert, you should have asked him the questions when you were actually there in Miami. But anyway, I guess just choose between these two words and then just tell me, why, which one you would choose and why, or choose the word and then tell me why you would choose that one. So Shopify or affiliate marketing?
Affiliate marketing, because I hate dealing with products.
Let's see. Google ads or solo ads?
Depending on what you're promoting. I would say solo ads if you're trying to generate leads, right? Just lots of leads. Google ads if you want to generate high quality sales. And if you're somewhere in the middle, like a Partner with Anthony, where you want to generate leads, but you want to generate sales, but it's a low ticket product, $7, they both work equally as well. And you may find that solo ads work better because Google ads are a little more expensive. So it's hard to just pick one of those because it's kind of condition based. If you're selling a product that costs a good bit of money, then Google ads for sure. If you're just trying to generate cheap leads, solo ads for sure. If it's somewhere in the middle, they both work.
All right. So email sequences or chatbot sequences?
I'm still a big believer in email sequences. I mean, chatbots are great. I have no problem with chatbots, except for the fact that even mine now, like, I don't know if you've noticed, but when we send you a message, it goes to a little folder that says business messages now on Facebook. So now when a business page messages you, it doesn't just show up in your messages, it's in another little folder. And as they start to mess with that, it makes it harder to get that delivery. So I still think email is king. All
right. So webinars or Facebook Lives?
Webinars. Facebook Lives are great. for just creating some form of engagement. Webinars are great for creating that true live. I know it's kind of intuitive because it says Facebook Live, but everything on Facebook is moving around and posts are live and stuff. The webinars feel like a live event, right? Many split tests, many. You're going to sell more if you're doing a sale. You're going to sell more on a webinar than on Facebook Live.
All right. So actually, this is threefold: Aweber, Get Response, or Active Campaign.
Active Campaign's the best. Hands down, that's the most powerful autoresponder that you're going to get out of those three. But again, it's kind of conditional based. We teach people Get Response. The reason we teach Get Response, it's way less expensive. It's far easier to use. And they have way more beginner-oriented features, right? So Active Campaign is super advanced. For somebody doing what I do, Active Campaign. For somebody starting off, I would say Get Response. Aweber is also good, but Get Response tends to have more of the technology built out, at least a lot faster than Aweber. So if you're getting started, Get Response. If you're kind of deep in the woods, 9 years in, maybe Active Campaign.
Of course, thanks, Anthony. Of course, my wife would say that she would get the most expensive one. She says, I want Active Campaign.
Of course, she wants to get the most expensive one. That's the way my wife would do it too. No, but here's the thing. Active Campaign is not, it's good. It's got a better automation sequence build out than anybody else that I've seen. And so I use that for a lot of my automations for our business. But I would say both of them are really good. And if I was starting off, which when I started off, I used Get Response, and I still have that account. We still mail from that. And then I kind of graduated to Active Campaign.
And these last few actually really don't have much to do about marketing. Well, actually one of them does, but this one is actually just location. So Destin, Florida, or Miami, Florida, and why?
Okay. Is this just in general for anybody or for me personally?
For you personally.
Okay, for me personally, it would have to be Destin, Florida, because let me give you the reasons why. Number one, it's relaxing. Number two, I own my own place there. And number three, I completely stay out of trouble because there is no trouble to get into because there are no bars and clubs and all that kind of stuff. You just sit on the beach and just chill. I think Miami is kind of that's my bachelor party timing, you know what I mean? But I love them both, but I'm saying Destin.
And my wife says she hates Get Response. Abby says there's a new automation feature in Get Response.
There is. There's a new automation feature in Get Response, and it works. I just think Active Campaigns is a little more robust, but I mean they've been doing that for forever. So it kind of makes sense, that it would be a little bit more advanced. But everybody kind of gravitates to their own thing, what you like using best. They all basically do the same thing, So it's really just a matter of what you like best, which one you can work best in.
And let's see, Tai Lopez or Adrian Morrison for Facebook ads.
Oh, Adrian. Tai doesn't know Facebook ads. I love Tai, but he doesn't know his Facebook ads. Adrian does some of his Facebook ads. So, I would say if I'm learning Facebook ads, I'm going with Adrian. If I'm learning how to grow my Instagram account, I'm probably calling Tai.
All right. And let me address these questions. You might hear a little bit of feedback.
And you get sucked back in by the marketing.
All right. I just got to scroll down on the questions. Oh, great. Is this for you? All right.
If I'm learning how to grow my Instagram account, I'm probably calling Tai.
Let's see. All right. So let me go back to the questions at the top. Let's see. Nico says live. Robert is on. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for joining, Nikos. Sarah, how are you doing? And Sarah says she is a big fan, Anthony.
Thank you, Sarah.
Hello, Pamela. How are you? Which she's probably, I don't know if she's on or not. She's busy. Anthony, she says Anthony's in the house. Gustavo, how you doing? What's going on? Let's see. Albert says, where's the self? Oh, Albert's asking about your chain. I see you have the self-made on the back. And actually, I guess kind of explain that story where you were in the restaurant, because Anthony has a self-made chain, and apparently he said he was, I guess, one of the waiters. He was in the restaurant, and the waiter, I don't know. I'll let him tell the story. He'll tell it better than I can.
Well, yeah. I mean, I had the self-made, and I still have my self-made chain. So I have my self-made chain on, and the first time I wore it, I went out to a restaurant, and somebody walks up to me and just starts hammering me about what does self-made mean and all that stuff, and what makes me so self-made and other people not, and all this stuff. And I'm like, that's part of the problem with people, is the way that they're programmed in their mind. Like, just because I say self-made, that doesn't mean that you're not. It doesn't mean I'm saying you're not self-made. I'm just saying, like, I am. And then also people look at it from a negative perspective, and they say self-made means you're not giving credit to people who helped you along the way and all that stuff. And, again, your perception is your reality, but that doesn't always mean it's accurate. And so for me, like, self-made really came more from my dad, which I can't show you, but there's art of my dad over here. Because he always told me to be self-made. He always said, don't work for somebody else, don't get a job. He wanted me to be a doctor, because back, 20 years ago, that was the people that owned their own business were doctors, and they started their own practice, and they always made money, and, they could build their business. And that's what, obviously the internet changed a lot of that and provided a lot of opportunity. But being self-made for me means, it reminds me that every single day I get to wake up and choose what I'm going to do. And if I'm going to work, kind of like you said earlier, what drives you, what motivates you, there's a lot of people that wake up and they don't have the drive, they don't have the motivation, they don't have the determination to do anything productive. And when you're an entrepreneur, you don't have a boss checking up on you. You don't have somebody telling you what you can do, what you need to do, what you have to do. You have to tell yourself that. You become your own boss. And I think being self-made, and especially like when I walk into my office, I have this up, and usually I'll have my chain and stuff like that. And it reminds me that every single day I got to make myself do what I need to do to be successful. Nobody's going to make me do it. So it's a reminder all the time that in order to be an entrepreneur and in order to be successful, the only person I have to blame if I'm not successful is me. And the only person that I have to credit for being massively successful is me, because it all starts with my decision to come on a Facebook Live with you and talk about marketing, or to sit down on a Sunday and work while other people are playing. And like that guy that came up to me in the restaurant, I said, well, what did you do on Saturday? Man, I was out. I went to the bar with my friends, and and it was Sunday. And I said, okay, well, what are you going to do today? Man, I'm going out with my friends, and I said, good. Well, I was working, right? Like, I was working. I was doing a webinar on Saturday, filming courses and stuff on Sunday. I'm like, that's what self-made is. It means doing what I need to do to be successful when nobody else is going to make me do it except me. And I think that that's something that all entrepreneurs, everybody that wants to start their own business, needs to remember, because I see many people who have massive ability fail, and it's because they do not understand how to be self-made. They do not understand how to make themselves do what they really need to do, to take what they know and actually implement it. And so it's just a reminder to me every day. I mean, we always have to surround ourselves with the things that help keep us motivated and keep us going. And so that's what I do.
Yeah, you have to have some type of, personal accountability. So, I mean, that's a good point to make. And my friend Robert, actually, I met him. Actually, we're college buddies. So we go all the way back since probably around 2000 or so, 2000, 2001. And he says, what's one tool or concept marketers are not taking advantage of or may not know about that you would recommend?
Well, tool or concept, I think the biggest concept might be like what I do with my webinars. I think the biggest concept might be that most people like to sell and then never have that personal interaction on a consistent basis. If you want to to be around me, you got to go to a mastermind for 15 grand, or you've got to, go to a live event. That means you got to travel around the country. The most people don't want to spend the time to start and do a webinar series like what I've done. But that webinar series has generated millions of dollars. And it's not that I even set out necessarily to do that. But as I create new products, I have a forum to sell them in. Whereas you see all these other marketers, they're still stuck in the product launch hamster wheel where they got to run out and get 50 of their buddies to promote them, and all that stuff. I don't have to do that because I have this group of people that's always there. And when I create a new product, I can say, hey, by the way, check this out. And everyone buys it. And why do they buy it? Because I've invested maybe in some cases 9 months teaching without selling a single thing. And so when I sell something, it's not like, oh crap, Anthony's selling me something else. It's, oh man, that's awesome, right? Because I've given enough value to people where an offer from me makes it's not even offensive. And then in some cases, it might only be $7, which makes it just ridiculous. So I think the biggest concept is the back end marketing that people do. They think it all needs to be autoresponders and retargeting ads and all this stuff, when really I think it needs to be more webinar based and personal interaction on a consistent basis, which is going to allow for a much bigger forum to share your story, your training, kind of your vision, and then also your products.
All right. Yeah, I know Anthony actually has somewhere to be, thinking about, 20 minutes. So I need to start toning it down or, shutting it down. But Gail asked, obviously she's a follower of you. She says, Anthony, if we're new to the Success Connection, which one of the businesses you created should we start with, PWA or Ambassador Club?
So, without getting into too much detail on your Facebook Live about my products, but they work hand in hand. So the Ambassador Program was basically my first attempt at what Partner with Anthony is. And the Ambassador Program is expensive. It's $1,500, right? So it goes back to you telling me what ads work best, right? Well, when you run solo ads to a $1,500 product, you might spend, $1,700 before you get a sale, because you're trying to create a $1,500 sale on lower quality untargeted traffic. Whereas if you run Google ads or say YouTube ads, I can spend $500 and literally make 2 sales and make $3,000 for $500, right? So what I did was I created the Partner with Anthony program, which is kind of this entry level, this lower ticket product, this $7 product that's easier to promote. But if you are a member of the Ambassador program, I actually sell that for you inside of the Partner with Anthony program. So where would I start? I would start with my promotion of Partner with Anthony, because it really teaches you the basics to the marketing. But I wouldn't abandon the Ambassador program, because inside of there, I sell that for you. So it's a sales funnel of other products. So if you're an ambassador, I'm basically going to sell that product for you in there, and you're going to make $750 a pop on it. So I would say I would start with my Partner with Anthony training if you have both of these programs, but just understand that the Partner with Anthony training is also going to help you make ambassador sales. And so, by being an ambassador, you have the opportunity to make way more money with it.
Yeah, I don't care what you promote, because pretty much everything all of your products, I have affiliate links for, so you can just go ahead and promote it. Because if it's going to make you money, it's going to make me money too. So you can go in as much detail as you want as possible.
Oh yeah, inside of there, you're going to make money with, so it's a good thing.
And I guess, there's one last question that I want to ask, because I know you got to get going. So if you were to have one superpower, what would it be and why?
Oh gosh. A superpower? These are those questions they normally ask you in front of 5,000 people, and you're like, I need to sound smart. No, you know what? I think maybe for me, it would be, gosh, that's a good one. And I'm really analytical, so I'll sit here and think about it for a minute. My one superpower, what would I want it to be? I think it would, I think that the thing that I would enjoy most is being able to 100% understand people. Like, that, like, to be able to look at a person and understand why they do what they do, that's like, some people will say, well, that's psychology. Not really, because they're guessing. A superpower would mean I know. And I'll tell you why. Because I have worked so hard, like on our Partner with Anthony program, to push people through the funnel. I call it the funnel, but through the training, right? Because it looks like a funnel. It's going down. Get them from session 1 to session 2 to session 3 to session 4 to session, because I know that by session 10, like our numbers show, at session 10, like 70% of the people that make it to session 10 make money. So I can see all these numbers now. But the biggest problem I have is that 52% now of the people that buy never log in. What the hell? They never log in. And so I'm racking my brain trying to figure out, why is this happening? How is this happening? I now have a phone team that calls people right after they buy to try to make sure, did you get your login information? Did you get the emails? Do you know how to log in? Let's log in together. Let's do this together. Let's have a party. Like, I'm spending so much money trying to correct human nature. And the problem is that human nature tells us that in this industry and in what we do, half of the people are never going to follow through with what they said they were going to do. The other half are going to start, but of that half, probably 70% are not going to finish. And that's where you get this whole 80-20 rule. And I'm trying to break the 80-20 rule with the Partner with Anthony program. And so I would love to know what's going through a person's mind when they buy something, put their information in, hit checkout, and then never log in, right? And then call their bank and file a friggin' chargeback. I mean, that I have to fight and deal with all day long because they never logged in. So I would say for me, it would be to understand people to the fullest degree, why they do what they do, how they do what they do, and then how to change the way that they think and the actions that they take, if in fact it would benefit them. And I think that right now is what I'm struggling most with my business, and what I'm putting more time and energy into than you can even imagine on a $7 product. But it's because I believe that if I can push people through that training, they're going to make money. I can see that. And so I would say that would be my biggest desire. It's probably not as interesting and as fun as, like, being able to see through walls and stuff, but it works for me.
And I know actually Sarah is a culprit and she's guilty. She says, I bought mobile opt-in software and I haven't tried it yet. You were promoting it and I just bought it. So that was, there's an example right there. But thank you, Anthony, for joining me. And even right now, I guess you guys may not know, you may know if you follow him, but actually he's dealing with some health issues now as well. So and he hopped on with me. So I mean, that's just the heart that he has. He wants his students to succeed, wants them to excel. So I mean, if you want to partner with anybody, partner with Anthony. So thanks for joining us, and I'll let you have the closing word if you want to. So
yeah, man. Look, I'm happy to come on, support what you're doing, and share some information with people. I love to see our students doing new things. Like I said, breaking out of your comfort zone, getting on videos, hosting webinars or lives, and all of this stuff. I think it's important, and I also think that people who are in what you call influencer positions. I'm not an influencer. I do not influence anybody. I hardly ever post anything. But like you said, the Tai Lopez's and the you mentioned Tai Lopez and me and all these other people that Russell Brunson, all that. I think that more of us need to spend more time maybe doing interviews with people who are just getting started with this kind of stuff, kind of like you, versus each other, because I think there's more value. I'm a firm believer in the fact that a lot of people follow me that don't follow, or a lot of people follow you that don't follow me. A lot of people would follow Abby that don't follow me. When you want to reach the true fiber of America or the world, you want to reach it through the people who are just starting, because that's where I found my most success, was when I was first starting. And so I'm always happy to help, and I hope that other people see that and feel that way, and also do that kind of stuff as well, because it's always time well spent. Because if you can motivate one or two people, to not to buy my program, but to do anything, or think a little bit differently. You just never know kind of the lives you're going to change. I'll leave you with this. There was one guy that came up to me I was in Nashville, and I was doing an interview. I was being filmed, and he just literally, I was facing this way, and I was talking to the guy next to me, and right over his shoulder, this guy walked by, and he just flipped out. I mean, I've never, in the 12, 13 years I've been doing this, have I ever seen anybody flip out when they saw me quite like this guy. I mean, he dropped his stuff, hit his hand over his face. If I could have caught that on camera, I mean, it would have been amazing. Like, it would have just been crazy. But here's the thing. I didn't teach him how. He's making over he makes 7 figures a year now. And I didn't teach him the specifics to making 7 figures a year. But what happened was he read one of my books. It opened his mind to internet marketing, which he'd never done before, never even thought of doing until he read one of my books. Then he read my Hidden Millionaire book, which kind of started teaching him the right mindset. And what's amazing is that when you reach, like, there's so many people that you can impact, so many people whose lives will change that you never even know. Like this guy, he just flipped out. He's making $1 million a year. And it's all because he grabbed a couple of books and they changed the course of his life. They didn't teach him the steps that made him the $1 million. They took him from going this direction to this direction. And this direction is where he found that success. And so I think it's always a good idea to do what you're doing and to do what so many other people are doing now. And that is share your story, teach what you know, and inspire as many people as you can. Because even when you don't see it, even when all you see online is the negativity, all you see is the BS scam reports and all that stuff like you talked about, even when that's all you see, it's because we live in a world where negativity rules. We live in a world where if we can possibly find some way to create controversy and negative impact, we'll do it because it's newsworthy and people gravitate to it. But the one thing to remember is that behind all of that negativity, there's all this positive stuff that you're doing and all these people's lives that are changing and all these awesome things that are happening that maybe don't get posted on Google and maybe don't get reported on, the report sites and all that stuff, but it is happening. And so I would say if you've got a story, if you've got something to say, if you've got something to teach, keep doing it. Get outside of your comfort zone and share your story and share as much as you can with people because even though you may not see it, I guarantee you, interviews like this and opportunities like this, it ends up pushing people in directions that changes their life. And so I'm always happy to do it.
Yeah, I do appreciate that. And well, I know you got to go, but I know Sarah, she said, I knew this question was coming because actually I kind of asked Anthony about this. I wanted to promote this video and, this interview in all of his groups. And he said, let's just wait to do that because a ton of people are going to be asking me. You already got one right now. Sarah saying, how can she book you? So
yeah, how can I get books? Just click my calendar link and fill it up. I haven't. I don't have any bookings for being on lives. But what I might do is commit to 1 or 2 days a month to do interviews like this with people. And so give me some time to figure it out, and I'll put together a little calendar book or a little calendar link. And if you've got a podcast or you've got a Facebook Live and you just kind of want to, start to motivate people around you, I'm happy to hop on and spend, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, talking and sharing the story. So give me some time to figure out how to get it scheduled. And you and I have been talking about this since Tai's Mastermind, but give me a time to figure out how I can put it into my schedule, and then we'll make it happen.
Yeah, I appreciate you hopping on. I got to ask, am I like the first one that's done an interview like this, or?
Yes, you are. You're you're numero uno, man. Number one and only right now. So we'll see if we can't get to some other people soon enough and help them. Like I said, it's a good thing. There's a balance between doing this and actually working, and there's a billion things going on my screen, and all of it's really for Partner with Anthony stuff. So I got to balance my time, but I'll see if I can help some other people out, do some interviews, and inspire some people along the way. So we'll see if we can get it set up.
And my wife says favor is not fair, but I always want to remind people, always be moving. #ABM, continue to pursue your goals, your dreams, no matter what. If there's pain in front of you, just go through the pain, experience the pain, endure the pain. Because remember, on the other side of pain, there is actually pleasure. So thank Anthony for joining us. And as he said, I'm the first one, final salute, and I know he's got to get going. So thanks for hopping on, and dropping a ton of value. But check them out later, and you know, if you got any questions, just put them in there later and all that stuff. So thanks for joining us, everybody. If you have any questions, you can put them in there later. I don't know if Anthony will be back. You heard it; he has a busy schedule, but I'll try to answer them and do what I can. But check out his program. Check out his events, 9 a.m. on Eastern time. But you have to be, I think you have to purchase one of his products to get in. So all those are purchasers, which is like 14,000 people, and all of them bought to get in. So if you want to interact with him some more, purchase his products or just go through my affiliate link. But you guys have a good one, and we'll check you out later. All right.
Take care, everybody.